When we come onto these streams for everybody, I show up, you're there. I like punctual people. My grandmother was super punctual. She always arrived everywhere, if not on time, 3 to 5 minutes early. Not like overly early, and not 3 to 5 minutes late, just like the exact right amount of early.
I usually show up to meetings at work like 5 minutes early or 10 minutes.
That's reasonable. I like that. Any more than that, it puts too much pressure on the place you're arriving at to host you or something,
Yeah, but, it depends on the place.
Like if it's a party, I'm not going to show up 5 minutes early. That would be silly. The host would be like, what the hell are you doing here?
Yeah, go home. Come back in 2 hours.
I'm wearing a robe. It's like 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah, but showing up early at a party means that you're going to help out with the entire setup of the party itself. Because
that's a good point.
Unlike showing up early to a meeting, which is either you sitting alone in that room or you and other people, engaging in small talk before the actual meeting. But when it comes to the party, you're not going to go to the host and start a small talk with the host while he or she are working on said party.
Through the bathroom door. Like, what are you doing now? It sounds like, are you putting on makeup or going to the bathroom?
Yeah.
I like that. I like the after party too, though, when everybody's cleaning stuff up and there's nobody really left and the host is probably drunk, and I'm not really a drinker, so I can help like clean up dishes and hear all the whatever the inside thoughts at 2 a.m. are in somebody's head.
Hey, I don't drink either. Look at us.
No. Yeah, my body, I don't process it very well. I get, my cheeks go red and I feel nauseous. It's not very fun. It's not often I'll run across that. Paul's not a drinker either.
Interesting.
Yeah,
maybe
Corman, not your Paul.
Yeah. My Paul is an alcoholic, so
I just don't like to drink. I've always liked control, I guess. Maybe that's what it is. Something.
Yeah, same for me. And maybe
I want to be the same.
Maybe it's a thing that adventure game fans do or not do. Maybe we're all just against alcohol, or not against alcohol, but we don't drink.
Not super into
because
it. Yeah.
we want to focus on the moon logic and the puzzles themselves, and so we can't drink. Okay, let's do this. Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Daniel Plays Games with the people who are not the developer of said games, which is different from text play. I need to work on the intro itself and change that. Hi everyone, happy Friday. Glad that you could join in. And today we're going to continue playing the 7th guest. And I think this is the 4th live stream. We have 3 or more live streams lined up because it doesn't seem like we're very good at solving these puzzles. Hopefully we'll get through some of them today. That's it. So Anna Vigue will join us in a sec. In the meantime, I'm going to tell you guys that tomorrow we're going to play Spycraft. We have 10 minutes of gameplay left. Last time I said 40 minutes, and then we ended up playing it the entire live stream. And so we have 10 minutes of gameplay left, and it will probably take us 40 minutes to get through them. And then we'll play Jackbox Party. So join in, and you'll be able to join the games themselves whenever it is that we're going to start them. Next Sunday, I plan to premiere my conversation with Ali Fragio, who was an animator at Sierra Online. And this conversation was recorded in March 2024. And I've been working this past year on salvaging it's audio, and now it's perfect. And so I'll premiere that conversation on Sunday, May the 4th. Be with us, and May the 4th at noon Pacific time. Thank you to our Patreon members. Thank you guys, Patreon and Coffee members, for your monthly donations. We appreciate it. And thank you to our coffee donors. Top 7 in the last 7 days. Zero Cleft, Yeshu, Schwex, Von Lauren, G-Rat, High Tops, and Faust. Thank you guys. And now, let's all welcome Anna Vigue. What up?
Hey, good to be here. Happy springtime to those who celebrate.
To those who celebrate. Happy springtime, happy Easter, happy Passover. Some of them are over, but happy nonetheless. How are you doing, Anna?
I'm good. I felt like I hadn't done enough puzzles this week. And so I thought I'd come back here and challenge my brain because, nothing else challenges it quite like a session of Seventh Guest.
Yeah. Are you ready to get back into Stoff's mansion and solve a few puzzles? Hopefully solve all of them?
I don't know how many are even left. Passovered. That's good, Zero Cleft.
I think we have between 10 to 15 puzzles, but I might be wrong.
Okay. I'm ready for this. It's sunny outside. I've closed all the blinds so that I don't become aware of time passing. I should be good. I have water. What more could I need?
Maybe coffee.
I'm missing the coffee.
To stay awake throughout this live stream, because some of these puzzles are super tedious. And the thing is that we found out in the last live stream is that even when you have a walkthrough, there are some puzzles that you don't have the solution for in order to write it down in the walkthrough. Like the puzzle with the flippy thing is, remember the one?
Yeah.
With the frame flips that we had to reconstruct that image. And so there's nothing in the walkthrough about it. It just tells you what the end goal needs to be, which is the image that you see before it starts flipping it over. And that's it. So I don't know. Hi.
Well, we'll see what happens. I like that. I don't celebrate spring. I don't believe in it. For me, it's still winter. Yeah, I'll take that too. The blueprints, you know what? It's funny. Or the blue, whatever it's called. My friend, 2 people have told me to play that. My son was one of them. He's like, I know it's not usually your kind of game. Then I saw some stuff out there on it. It looks different. Very, very like mystery-like.
Okay. Do you remember what happened in the last live stream where we left off?
Right. We just finished. Did we do was it the basement? Was it the maze puzzle? Or a labyrinth? Or was it something else?
I don't know. We should have watched the last live stream. The last puzzle we solved was the picture puzzle I was talking about just now, a moment ago.
Right. The picture flipping, and there was more sides on each one than I thought there was. Yes.
Yeah, and then you thought you solved it, but you didn't. And then
I was so close.
Yeah.
And then it took forever to get back to that place again.
And then I brute forced it, and we solved it together. And then
yay!
We reached this place and got a cutscene with the kid. Remember?
That's right. It was a good cutscene too.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, Oscar worthy. Okay, let's do this.
I'm in.
Okay, take control.
Okay, come on. There we go.
The gal and the guy on the right. Okay, so now if you want to insult me, you should say the dude on the right.
It's another word for a pimple on a horse's butt. Okay, it's just my computer being jitty, I see. That's fine. Why is it doing that? Hmm.
If you're
I know
having
on the
trouble.
screen it just looks like I'm waving the mouse around, but on my screen it's just sort of chunking as it moves, so I can't click anywhere yet.
Okay, so if you want, I can navigate and you tell me where to go.
Sure. Take me to the next puzzle, Jeeves.
Okay. Hopefully somewhere close.
Must be my connection for some reason.
Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna stop doing that. Okay. So we have this door, which will probably take us to the library. Or not. Okay. We have a cutscene. Are you ready for
Ooh,
this?
very.
Hello.
Wow, that was intense.
00 in the chat says no sound. How can that be? Yeah, just no music. The MIDI will start soon.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully. Okay.
Okay. Still not running smooth on my side. I wonder if I should restart something or do something.
Okay, music is back.
Okay. There it is.
The 7th technical issue. Yeah.
Well, you know, that's what we get for having it go so smoothly the last few times.
Yeah, but it's not technical issue. The
No.
MIDI stopped because we paused the game. And then there was
No, the technical it's on my side.
Okay.
Oh, I see why, maybe. My son had StarCraft running on BattleNet. That can really be a showstopper.
Oh, come on.
He's at school now. He'll be fine. You know, StarCraft, it turns out, can take over a household just as well now as it ever did when it first came out. It's really quite the game.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, CJ.
CJ tipped $20, extra sounds with donation.
Thank you.
Thank you, CJ.
Now we're certain that we have sound.
Perfect.
What just happened? Did Zero Cleft block 0? Jeez. We have way too many mods. No, not this.
I love the creepy kind of naked doll in the center there.
You have very specific taste.
I really do. Well, I don't know if anybody's heard of like Mark Ryden, his art. It's kind of like wild and out there. This whole game reminds me of it a little bit on a small scale.
3 little words. That's all it takes.
That's all it takes. Yeah, Tom. All right, I'll try jumping in and see if I can get my computer to cooperate on this now.
Okay, so let me give you control. Give it a try.
All right. If not, I can just watch it on the little screen, actually. That's fine. Okay.
Is it better?
We've got this. I'll make it work. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. He's not doing anything. A. T. Can I click on one of you? O. B. T. E.
It's one of those unclickable puzzles.
Right. Oh, there we go.
Well, it should be as easy as ABC.
Hey, it's the track from the George Sanger conversation that I
Oh,
told him.
yeah. That was, you know what? I'm sure everybody here has seen it, but that was one hell of a freaking awesome conversation. Like such a good vibe. You guys bounced off of each other beautifully. That was great.
Well, first of all, thank you. And it should have been a 4-hour conversation, but his wife just made lunch, and
Look, it's a magic spell puzzle.
we didn't want him to get his lunch later that day. So we stopped the conversation. I mean, we knew about 30 minutes before we had to end the conversation that we had to end it. So that's why when we reached the 7th guest, because we talked for 2 hours about everything apart from 7th guest, because we just reached 1993, then we had to skip through tons of questions just to get to the end. And so hopefully we'll get a part 2.
Interesting. Yeah, I know. I saw that in the background. I'm like, looks like she's making food there. I bet he's going to be hungry now. Well, it's a good reason to have him back on another day. My God, that guy has just such a wealth of information in his head.
So Nelson Miguel says that track reminds me so much of Twin Peaks. Well, that's because it's from the Twilight Zone. And so there are tracks that are very similar. It's mind-blowing that back in the 90s, before we had YouTube and such, sometimes you didn't know if you had a melody in your head just because you came up with it on your own, or because you actually heard it somewhere else and you couldn't figure it out yourself. Just had to hope for the best. Hope that it's not copyrighted.
Yeah. Oops.
So Nelson watched the conversation. I had to... There was an interview with George Sanger.
I used to have blocks just like this when I was a child. The memory seems so clear now.
There was an interview with George Sanger from a couple of years ago in which he said that he was inspired by a melody in the Twilight Zone when he was working on a track from the 7th guest. And so I had to watch a bunch of Twilight Zone episodes to see if I can find that melody, and then listen to the 7th guest soundtrack to see which track sounds exactly like it. So sometimes that's the thing that always, exhausts me every time about the research for these conversations. I mean, it's a 30-second question that will get a 2-minute answer or a 5-minute answer, but it took me days to find it. So,
like the Twilight Zone episode.
Exactly.
Or finding like every incidence of Ken in a Sierra game, and then getting them all clipped together in one of the most amazing montages I've ever seen.
Oh, thank you.
I love that kind of research. That makes it real. It's not such a formulaic, like, I'm just going to sit here and ask a bunch of questions, okay? Like, there's so much more to it. There's so much more depth to your interviews because of that.
Oh, I'm getting bored.
I'm not bored yet. It's been like 2 minutes. Give me a break, man. At least I figured out how to make them change now.
Yeah.
That took a while.
Good places. Thank you, CJ. The thing is, sometimes when I need to come up with questions for these interviews, then I don't know if that particular question has been asked way too many times. So I just focus on the weird things that interest me Like, whenever I talk to someone who worked on Escape from Monkey Island, I always ask them if they know who worked on the monkey sounds, because they bug me so much because they're so repetitive, and it's so weird that they couldn't find like 10 different monkey sounds instead of playing those same 4 in a loop.
Exactly. That's exactly the details. Okay. So I'm assuming at this point it's more like words and not alphabetical order, but so far.
So you need to form 3-letter words. Three-letter words in a row.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! Ta-da! B-O. Tag.
That makes sense.
Is the Team
Yob.
Is the Team
I love a
Schaefer
good
interview
yob.
still happening? Well, the Team Schaefer interview, I contacted him about a year ago, and then he replied like 2 weeks after that, and then we talked for a while, and then he sent me his email and the email of the Double Fine PR representative, so that we'll be able to schedule it. But then we couldn't find a date that worked for both of us. And then I just stopped recording new interviews. I haven't been recording new interviews since the beginning of 2025. So when I'll get back to it in a couple of months, then he's the first person I'll probably contact for a conversation. I think I'll also contact a few of my white whales, people that I've been trying to get for years, and see if they're available.
Who's a white whale of yours? Are you able? Do you mind saying who one of your white whales are?
Well, first of all, I have Brian Moriarty, because he worked on one of the versions of the Dig, and he also worked on my favorite point-and-click adventure game, which is Loom. But the thing is, I think that a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, he was interviewed by someone for a podcast, and they recorded like, I think 4 podcasts, 2 hours long each. So that's like 8 hours of content for that particular podcast. And then the host realized that, the audio on Brian's side was messed up. And so
No.
I'm not sure if he eventually released it. I know he released parts of it. I don't know if he released the entire thing. But that type of thing can break a person's spirit, because he just talked for 8 hours. And so why would he want to be interviewed ever again after being interviewed for 8 hours and nothing coming out of it?
That's terrible. I am so sorry.
So that's why I'm constantly I've allotted 5 hours every week to try to salvage those 3 conversations that I have that had audio problems, and that's why I'm finally releasing my conversation with Ali Frazio. That's been in limbo for quite some time. And Mark Siebert, who celebrated his birthday this week, I also let him know that my conversation with him will be released. We recorded it in January 2024.
Wow. So yeah, that'll be nice to get it out. This is funny. I've got 3 words here backwards, but I don't know how to make them the other way. I've got Tad, I've got boy, and I've got get, but I can't seem to flip them around, and I don't even know if they're the right words.
Okay, I can tell you that they're the right words, not in the right order. And of course, they're flipped.
Do they go across? They're meant to go across, right? Oops, I just lost it. Damn it. It's okay, I'll go back. So somehow I have to make it so it flips those words around, but I can only click on either side of it.
Yeah. Yeah, CJ, the feeling when you haven't saved for hours and the game crashes times 1,000. Exactly, because even when you don't save a game, you can do the same things, even if it will take you a couple of hours. But when it comes to an interview, you're just not going to ask your guest, can you answer the same questions in the same manner and try to keep your enthusiasm at the same level that you had during our original conversation. And that's why I stopped using Zoom, because,
Well, it should be as easy as ABC.
Zoom, apart from the fact that it has low quality video and the audio is compressed and the entire thing relies on your internet connectivity. The thing is that...
Look, it's a magic spell puzzle.
It's a magic spell puzzle. The thing is that when you record a conversation, it records it locally. And so if your computer crashes during the Zoom conversation, you don't have any part of that conversation. And even after the conversation ends, when you stop the recording, it takes like an hour or so, depending on the length of the conversation, for it to convert it from the Zoom format to a video format. And it can also crash in that part of the process. So it's super stressful.
I'm getting stressed out just hearing it. That's like if because the words are gone, and I have kind of an obsession over words. I think that they disappear and they're lost forever. Like sometimes I like to record a very important conversation even among family members, because I think this is just going to be lost and no one's ever going to hear it again. And I'm very sad when that happens.
I used to have blocks just like this when I was a child. The memory seems so clear now.
Dot by tag.
I'm close.
Sounds like a TikTok trend. The Fastian Man says, I find when I do projects and I'm like, this is unreleasable, people don't even know this, and all I do is sweat and panic on the inside. Exactly that. I mean, I talked to Anna before the conversation and I told her that I sometimes spend so much time adjusting the volume of one specific part of the conversation, like 2 seconds of the audio track of my guest being, a few decibels below the volume of whatever he said before and what he will say after. And I spend so much time to adjust these volumes. That's why it takes me so long to release these conversations. And afterwards, when I watch an interview on YouTube, sometimes, the volume differences are insane between the host and the guest. Sometimes I've listened to... I watched an interview that was released like a minute before I started watching it on YouTube. And the entire conversation was just in the left channel. Like, they didn't do it in mono, so you'll have it in both channels. It was just in the left audio channel. And so I reached out to that creator.
Oh, I'm getting bored.
And told him, it's just on the left channel, so take down the video, fix it. It's not a quick fix. And just re-release it before you get the views.
I'm going to have to start again.
And he said, okay. And then he didn't do anything about it. And it reached 100 views and 200 views.
Aww. See, that's disappointing. There's good information in there.
And that's the thing. People don't care. And interviews sometimes get tons of views. Even when they do...
Yeah, that is true. Because as I said, that's the bane of... I have a few of our interviews that I should... no. Shit. Oh, that doesn't matter. Okay.
Return.
Right. We're good. Be patient with me. I'm actually playing all of this off of a tiny little screen because my big one's too choppy. So the one that I'm looking at is like this big on the side.
Okay, so
Okay.
you know the words we need to.
Yeah, now I see get, boy, Tad, but I was trying to do it in the wrong order. So now I'm going to try get on the top. And then the next one next, and then the next one next.
Eat that egg.
Get that boy, eat that egg. So I'm just going to
Well,
get the
it
G
should
up
be
here.
as
So
easy as
tomorrow
ABC.
there's my old school that I went to high school at. They're having a big get together because they're going to tear down the school. So it's supposed to be like a goodbye and get memories. And I didn't really like high school. It was grade 8 and 9, and I didn't. Oops, shit! I didn't mean to do that again. And I didn't do very well in it. But I'm
Look,
going to go to this anyways,
It's a
just for
magic
fun.
spell
Because
puzzle.
why say
Oh.
no to a party?
So the school is being demolished.
It is. Yes. They've built a new school right in the front yard of the school. So like for the last 2 years that all these kids have been going to this school, they've been dealing with that like every day. So I'm sure they'll be happy to finally get it dealt with.
Oh man. They demolished my
Yeah,
elementary school a while ago because it was filled with asbestos. We didn't get a party
yours
out of it.
too. No party at all. Oh man, we get free food and asbestos. We're so lucky here.
Yeah, I was looking forward to that asbestos party, but I didn't get one.
Aw. There we go. I got the G on the top now.
I used to have
Now-
blocks just like this when I was a child. The memory seems so clear now.
There we go. God. Well, there's a lot of words here. Feels like I ended up at the right one super randomly. They were just sitting there backwards. Grade 8 was high school. Well, for me, yeah, great. They called it, how they did it was junior high school. So grades 1 through 7 was elementary school, and then 8, 9, and 10 was junior high, and then 11 and 12 was high school. But now elementary school only goes till grade 6, and elementary school goes to grade 5, grade 6, 7, and 8 is middle school, and then 9 to 12 is high school. So they restructured all the schools here to accommodate that.
Okay, so over here, grades 1 to 6 is elementary school,
Oh, I'm getting bored.
and 7 to 12 is high school, and that's it. No middle school, no junior high.
Okay. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Like Jacob's the low man on the totem pole at Mount Doug because he's only in grade 9, but it also means he gets to do things like mechanics and stuff early, which is nice because I couldn't do those till, if I had stayed in school, I wouldn't have done them till grade 11.
But what about
I'll try
second
to get-
school?
What's that? Oh, you mean like college, university stuff?
Yes, who calls that second school?
Like secondary education. I just went to nursing school. So I skipped sort of everything else and just went in as an adult education.
I'm going to have to start again.
No, that's not what I wanted. Okay. Well, let's get that G back up there. Yo, G.
Well, it should be as easy as ABC.
1 to 8 is elementary, 9 to 12 was high school, and no middle school. That's Southern. Oh yeah, my dad went to school in Ontario. He
Wow.
went to Trent University and went to grade 13, obviously, because of the whole Ontario thing.
I mean, 1 to 8 elementary.
Look, it's a magic spell puzzle.
I mean, it's too big of an age gap. when you have first graders and eighth graders in the same school.
Mm-hmm. It does seem like quite a spread. I mean, thinking like back in the day when grades 1 through 12 would be in one school, at the old schoolhouse.
Yeah. I mean, you still have a kid's mentality in the 6th grade, but from the 7th grade on, you're becoming a teen, and you have teenagers' mentality, and so I don't think that they should be in the same school. 8 years of Catholic school.
I used to have blocks just like this when I was a child. The memory seems so clear now.
Mercury says what Daniel said about schools here, there is a high chance that you will study with your brother or sister in the same school. Yeah, even when you have a 5-year age difference between you two, then you're probably gonna study at the same school.
They dropped grade 13 in Ontario? Well, geez, thankfully. Man, I always felt bad for people that had to do that. Especially if you failed like grade 9 science or math or something, and then you're sitting there in like grade 13 and you're trying to do like grade 10 math. It would be awful.
Jeez.
The school actually, they tried to hold back my kid. They're like, he hasn't actually failed, but we're worried it was a brand new teacher. We're worried he won't be able to get whatever they need to do for the next year. So do you want to keep him back in Science 9 for one more year? I wrote back and I'm like,
bored.
And I'm like, my kid's going to go into trades, right? He doesn't care. Just push him forward. He'll be fine. Oh my God. And then I'm like, kid, you owe me so bad right now. I just got you out of repeating science. He's like, thank you so much. Jesus. Ridiculous school. It's like, you don't even fail. They want to hold you back. Oh, and she got the counselor to be the one to write us because she's new. So.
Grade 13 sounds rough.
Yeah, doesn't it? I'm trying to keep the G up there, but I'm also trying to get the B here. But every time I do that, they switch out, don't they? And now I just canceled. The little screen is killing me.
Okay, you want me to solve the puzzle for you?
I swear I got really close. But yeah, sure, go ahead, jump in and help. I would love to watch you struggle through it.
If you're up for it, then I'm willing to stick around with you to the end of the stream.
Yeah. Oh, I'm fine. I will be here. Yeah, preschool kindergarten is a thing here. I went to Montessori, so that's a thing here too.
Ooh. We have schools over here in which the 1st and 2nd grade are Montessori and the rest are not.
Well, it should be as easy as ABC.
Which gives you an easier transition between preschool and school.
That's interesting, actually. Oh, and that's interesting too. Pro athletes getting held back on purpose for the size advantage. I never even thought about that. That is so sketchy. I love it. That's so American sounding. Like that is such a United States kind of thing to do with like the football things and the schools and that. Because here, in Canada, football isn't the commodity. Sports students aren't the commodity in the same way. Okay. I've got boy in the wrong place. So I have to mix boy and that one. That's where it gets tricky.
I used to have blocks just like this when I was a child. The memory seems so clear now.
I was always the smallest and the youngest in all of my classes, so.
Me too.
Really?
Yeah,
Same with my middle son, always.
I started 1st grade when I was 5 because I have a birthday in September. So they said, okay, so you turn 6, like in the first few weeks of September, so it's fine.
Yeah, see, I didn't mind that, but I was definitely always the youngest, and I think I was a little bit like gullible compared to some of the other kids, just because I was a little, and I mean, maybe I've always taken people at heart. Like if you say something to me, I'm going to assume you know what you're talking about, and I'm going to believe you. And I've always been that way.
Why? Why do we trust humans?
Yeah, that's it's weird, right?
Yeah.
I keep thinking, yeah, you're saying stuff, so you must know what you're saying. It's like, no, no, girl, it's
I'm
not really
getting
like that.
bored.
Did you start at 5 as well? Oh yeah, see, that's great. Early starters. There was this one girl that she skipped a grade, and I was always a little bit like, oh man, I wish I could have skipped a grade. I don't think I
Yeah.
was smart enough to skip a grade.
Once you'll solve this puzzle, you'll feel a lot smarter, and then you'll show your teachers just how good you are at solving puzzles.
I'll go back and show them.
Yeah.
Hey, Mrs. A, you thought I wouldn't make it, but here I am.
Yeah. If you can just tune into the Conversations with Curtis live stream and check out the 50 minutes we spent solving that one puzzle.
See, as soon as I get one on the bottom, and then it's hard to get, I've got boy at the top, but they said I have to have boy in the middle. So that's where I'm getting trapped. Hold on. Let's see. But now boy's going to go, where is it going to go next? It's going to go over here. And if I shoot it there, it's going to trickle down, and I don't want it to go all the way down, but I don't have a choice. Okay.
Zero Cliff says the amount of ridiculous things other kids convinced me in elementary was nuts.
You too, Zero Cleft. Oh my God, my best friends put me through a court case in grade 4 where I had to prove that I was not being mean to my demented grandfather by taking away his remote control, and I lost. So they gave me a ritual so that I could prove that I still should be a part of my own treehouse. And they threw chestnuts at me and made me guess what things were with my eyes closed until they went home and I started crying, and my grandma had to come comfort me. And I'm like, they won't let me be in my own club. And so I was like, the club's on our property, dear. I'm sure you're fine. That's so horrible. It's easy to be bullied, though. Some people are easy for that. Like I was the kind of person that would go, no, I'm not.
So that's the thing. You know, we went through elementary school and high school without having the internet so readily available for us. I mean, just in high school, I had access to the internet, and even that, it was, dial up, and you'd have to call after 10 p.m. because it was super expensive. But now, with everyone having all of the information in the world at their fingertips, I wonder if you can still fall for these, pranks, scams during high school or in elementary school, when you can just look up something and see that it's total bullshit. But
I would agree.
But according to the, analytics on our channel, everyone who's currently watching has never experienced elementary school with a smartphone.
No, that's a good point. I couldn't imagine. I mean, when did I get my first smartphone? About 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm old because I'm like 46.
I mean, just think that this year, Monkey Island 2, the special edition, will celebrate its 15th anniversary, which means that the special edition, which was released in 2009, is now considered retro. Remaster is considered retro. So we've had smartphones for as long as we had Monkey Island 2. the special edition. Zero says, yeah, I can imagine it being much fun having a smartphone back in high school. I know. I mean, how can you even study for an exam when you can just hop on the internet and spend like 10,000 hours doom scrolling? At least back then we could study in between TV shows and have our schedule arranged according to the TV schedule.
Yeah, it was different. I couldn't imagine being a kid. Like, I mean, my kid has access to the internet and multiple screens and ChatGPT and whatever else. And I come in and he's doing a book report, and it's like he's writing it, and you can see he's clearly written it. Like, he's not gone for extra help, or he's doing it. And I'm like, I don't know if I'd have the willpower sitting in front of all of the information of the internet. I'd spend more time trying to figure out how to make it look like I didn't cheat than doing the work. I would put as much work into faking that it was mine as I would into doing it in the first place. That would have just been me, because that's how I rolled in school. So it's nice that my kid doesn't, even though he could.
Yeah, you can copy ChatGPT's response, shove it into Zero GPT, which will let you know what parts of it seem like they were written by AI, and then rephrase them yourself, and that's it.
That's just it, right? There's always a way. You know, I think my middle kid's smarter than me in certain ways, like certainly in school ways, because he's almost done his computer science degree and he has plans to move back east and buy a house, and he's got all this money saved up and investments. But it's like, it's always a different kind of smart, like, because he's not street smart. So lots of different ways, I suppose, of kids being smart or not smart. All right, you can take this puzzle for a minute.
Yeah,
Daniel.
okay, let me do that. Okay.
I'm going to have to start again.
The thing is that, you know, we help our parents with technical problems, and we help our kids with technical problems. When we were kids, we would help our parents with technical problems at the same age. But kids nowadays aren't as tech savvy as they used to be, because everything is so damn easy.
It's true. My youngest, now he's 14, and he does coding and stuff, and he makes mods for games like Civilization. So he's my tech guy, and I finally released my hold, because I've been the tech person in my family my whole life, for all of the kids, for my parents, for everybody. And finally, this kid can do it. So I'm just like, set up all the technical stuff, research the stuff, do all the bits and pieces and figure it out. And I'm like, finally, a kid in this generation that's not scared to get in, and he taught me how to mod all my games and do all that other stuff that I was kind of intimidated to do. And he's like, I'll mod mine first, and then I'll show you how to mod yours. It's like, again, all these different types of smarts. Then I got an email from his math teacher yesterday saying he got 43% on a math test. So you should be careful if he's going in pre-calculus. And I'm like, as his teacher, you should know there's no way in hell he's going into pre-calculus. Are you insane? Schools are funny. I don't really agree with the school system, and I bailed out of it pretty easy. So I said to Jacob, you're lucky I'm still letting you go. Millennials are best with computers because they had regular access to them, but they weren't good enough yet. They had to learn how to. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, very much so. Because Alex, like my second oldest, well, I guess Alex is my middle kid. I don't know, whatever. There's a bunch of kids, but that one, he's got 2 keyboards that don't have letters on them, and they're separate, and you have to program them with keycaps, and he uses Linux, and he's just like such a control over it that he wants to know how every aspect of everything works, which a lot of that's beyond me too, though. Like, I'm not very good at math either. And I certainly don't. And the keyboard works like a stenographer's. You have to push certain keyboard keys to make things happen. But then my oldest, because he's like almost 29, he was born in the generation.
Child. The memory seems
like a little bit
so
more of an
clear now.
old school generation. but he doesn't care how the games work. He just wants to click the game, play the game more. Well, he has a few computers, but his Linux one is his main one. And then he has, of course, his Windows 11 and some other stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about Linux, other than I'm using Linux Mint in one of my old laptops to make it usable. But it's pretty like point and click steady when it's Mint. I don't think he's using Mint though. You got yod betud. I like that one. I like Bagdat T or Dat Yob tag from
Bagdat T.
Yeah. Windows 11. I'm so sorry. I know, right? Computers. I'm so sorry. Exactly. I'm like, you picked your whole career for that now, though. I don't know. I don't like everything I do is hands-on work. Now it's just, as I said, woodworking and other things. So. Oh, and my kitchen's finally done, so that's good. I've been cooking up a storm. Yesterday I made lemon curd and meringues because they go really well together.
Hey, congrats.
I'm going to have to start again.
Thank you. It's been 9 years since I've had a working kitchen, so
9 years.
When you do it yourself, that happens. Now we're ripping apart the bathroom. We just took down a bunch of walls downstairs this morning and stuff. It was kind of crazy, but we've been going since early. But I got to take off my work clothes and pretty up for the stream, so I don't mind. And then I can go back to work and look all pretty, but I'll just throw on my construction clothes.
Well, it should be as easy as ABC. I'm going to have to start
No,
again.
not sorry. Oops. Lemon curd was good. I was short one lemon, so I added in a lime in place of one lemon, and I'm never not going to do that again. What is the goal of this puzzle? To make 3 words, apparently.
Yeah, to make 3 words. But wait.
Boy and tag.
I need to catch my bearings. The problem is that... Okay, so the right side. The right side is scrolling down. And this side... Okay, so scrolling up.
Oh no, lemon and lime was good. Sorry. Yes, I'm definitely doing that next time. They were great together. It was good. I've made it with oranges before, and I've also done a grapefruit curd, which is pretty impressive. I just use a little bit of lime or lemon in the grapefruit curd.
Look.
I do whatever occurs to me. So tag dog yet. Tab dog yet. I didn't tab my dog yet. No, we took out my parents' bathroom had asbestos tile in the flooring. So as per our protocol, we've been slowly removing all the asbestos tiling with all the various safety protocols for a while, and you have to deal with it all separately. But
seems like asbestos is a recurring theme in this live stream.
Oh my gosh, there's so much of it here. It's in every single house because it was a government regulation.
There.
Aw, poor little thing.
Wow, that was worth the 50 minutes we spent solving that puzzle. Thank you for that.
It certainly was.
5-second clip. So Zerocraft says that millennials tend to be the best with computers because they had regular access to them. I think that, elder millennials are good with computers because they had to adjust to so many technological leaps throughout their childhood that made them tech savvy. Because you can have a computer from 2016 and it would still work, and you don't need to learn anything new, and it will work fine even today in 2025. But back then, you'd have a computer with a sound card in 91, and then with a VGA screen in 92, and then with a CD-ROM drive in 93, and then with a 3D
voice
graphics
just cut
card.
out for me. Can everybody else still hear?
Can you hear me? We can hear you.
There. I think you're back.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you now. No, now I can't. Weird.
That's because I'm not saying anything.
Okay, that's why. That's fine. I missed the last bit of your story, I think.
Nah, it was boring.
Okay. Hold on, I'm going to look at the map. All right, there's still one room right here. Okay. Oh, there is the newer version. Oh, this is on the PS5, this game is? I didn't realize that.
Hey, music's back.
Yay.
So when you're recording a podcast and you say something that might date that specific episode, do you edit it out or do you leave it in?
Sometimes we accidentally leave it in. The problem is it's often when we have a guest on, especially if it's like just a guest to the episode, like as in we're just going to talk about whatever, or we're all going to talk about a topic, and they'll almost always say, hey, you can get this game on Steam, it's on sale, or they'll, in some way. So I tend to try to keep that out of there if I notice it, because otherwise it's either the information is out of date or the episode becomes outdated because of historical whatever it is. But it does slip in. What about you?
Well, now I have the same problem because I always ask my guests, what are your plans for, 2024,
Right.
2025? And now that I'm working on the LA Fragio conversation, which was recorded a year ago, then it will premiere next week. And then I'll ask him what his plans for 2024 are, and it will pretty much date the conversation. Well,
right. And
only that specific part.
Too.
Yeah. And it's always my last question, so I can't even edit it out. So it's just there.
It's just gonna be there. I mean, I guess it'll be just as out of date in 5 minutes as it will be in 5 years. So you've got consistency on your side.
Yeah, maybe I should rephrase that for what are your plans for the near future? And then, it's more fluid that way.
That's a good idea. What are your plans for the near future? I like that, actually. I might use that myself. Well, none of these rooms.
Daniel, you're like a reality show that airs a year later. It only happens in Israel. Usually with reality shows in the US, they usually air pretty close to the production wrapping, because they need to have at least 2 seasons per year or 1 season per year, so you can't really delay that.
True. And then, people have to keep secrets the whole time, so the longer they delay it, the more chance there is of the truth escaping.
Yeah. And if anything, it's more like a movie when, when an actor has to promote a movie that was filmed like a year ago or 2 years ago, or during COVID, there were movies that were, filmed 3 years before they actually released it to theaters. I remember seeing it. I don't watch trailers, but I remember the trailer for Top Gun Maverick was released in 2019, and it seemed like they were in the final stages of production, but the movie hit theaters in 2022. So they had to sit on that footage for 3 years. So that's insane.
Definitely not here. Just because of the jumpiness, do you mind taking me to the next room?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I aim to please.
I appreciate that. Well, that is why you have such a consistent crew, because I always notice a lot of the same faces in here as I do in the Discord. So, really loyal friends. I think a lot of us have bonded quite a bit. It's really cool to see the whole, you've created your own ecosystem.
We've got an awesome community, and we're really thankful that they were awesome and they're still awesome. And that's it. Okay, we need to find the church.
Right.
Now, where's the church? CJ says they shot Avatar 2 and 3 starting in 2017. Well, that makes sense because the visual effects would take years to complete.
Mm-hmm.
So
that whole movie is intense, man. Yeah, there's a lot to it.
So I get that. But, even James Bond, No Time to Die, was supposed to come out in March 2020, and it ended up being released in 2021 or 2022. Okay,
I'm finally watching the first Daniel Craig James Bond movie because I haven't seen any of his yet, because we've been going through watching every single James Bond movie in order, my dad and my son and I.
Mm-hmm.
So.
You never seen any of them?
Not the Daniel Craig ones. I've seen all of the other ones, but every couple of years we get together and watch them all.
Daniel Craig ones.
Yeah, no, very fast, very different, very different energy than the other James Bonds for sure. I feel old watching them because everything is moving so quickly. I'm just like, what's happening? What's going on? There's explosions and things everywhere.
No. And the thing is, I noticed that, again, we talked about us dating our podcasts or conversations by saying something that might be dated by the time it comes out or years later. It seems to me like older movies in general, like movies from the 90s or late 80s, seem timeless, while movies from the early 2000s to the 2010s are feel dated nowadays because they have a flip phone in the movie. So I say, okay, that's super old, but a movie from the 90s, that's fine. But them using a flip phone and I don't know, the Fast and the Furious 3.
Yeah, it's a little different because we've been flowing through the James Bond movies. We've kind of hit the last 5 decades and seen so many different takes on the series too, and just where the humor is and what the sexy is and kind of how it's all put together and implemented. And I just feel like the newer ones are more different scenes put together without so much of a thread to hold them together, but they have to be fast and there has to be action. And even the sexy isn't the same. Like all of it is, I don't know. All of it just old man yelling at cloud kind of a feeling is what it gives me.
Well, actually, funny you should mention it because a lot of the movies nowadays are filmed just as you described it. They first film the action scenes because they usually take longer to coordinate, to film, to do post-production on. So they film them first, and sometimes there is no script, so they film that, and hopefully they'll have a script by the time they finish with the action scenes.
That makes sense. Just fill in the gaps between the important parts. Something, 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 sex, violence. Okay, go. Which is, I guess, why the indie scene is becoming really popular with people too, because they're not always following those formulas. I mean, it's the same with indie games, right? It's just, a lot of people are just tired of the tropes.
Exactly.
That Motorola Razr, I loved my Motorola Razr. Man, that thing was fire. I don't remember. I think it was like metallic. It's like metallic blue or something.
You had one?
Thing. I used to, yeah.
Wow.
I loved it. I've had lots. I had an LG Shine at one point. And we still have a bunch of old Nokias, and I don't know, we have a whole bunch of our old phones somewhere. I'm not hoarding. I'm keeping them for history.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. The thing is, they start to decompose. The battery starts to decompose. And it gets messy.
That is the problem. I've had a few past items destroyed. I've fortunately learned how to clean battery acid in most cases. But yeah, it's always a pain in the ass when that happens. That happened to my old Furby. Pulled out the old Furby and somebody had left batteries in it. So it's in the back room now in recovery in hospital. We'll see what we can do for it.
Put it in rice.
We had to shut it down. We had to put it down because it kept waking up randomly and scaring people, but I thought maybe it was time to revive it.
Wait, I think we missed the puzzle on the second floor.
Yeah, there's one in one room.
Wait.
Oh yeah, if the battery keeps getting hot, it'll definitely do the expansion thing. I had that happen in my S4 years ago, but luckily, of course, those days you just order a replacement battery on eBay for like $10 and you're like, great, this thing's good to go. In fact, my S4 still works. We still have it. I have an S5. I have an S7 Edge. My husband's using it because I give him my hand-me-downs. An A71 Samsung, which I gave my other son. And then the S21 Ultra, but it's just sitting in a drawer right now.
What? Why do you want to use your S4?
Eventually that one I thought would be a good port to manage the lights because we have all our lights working off of a unit. So I thought I would just sort of plug it in and make it like a unit manager or something. Or it'll just sit in a drawer. And then sometimes like one of my kids will lose or break their phone. And so they'll be like, do you have an extra one? So I'll just pull the oldest out of the stack, which is nice too, because, kids' phones. I mean, not that I've ever bought any of them a phone. Like my 14-year-old just uses my old phone. It has no plan on it, but it still works. It's got a crack on the screen. And he's just been using my hand-me-downs for years. Oh, here we have something. Goodness.
Oh, I'm dying to see what you'll do next.
I bet you are. All right. Let's see what we got here. Oh, mine was an old phone I no longer used. I just used it to play music. Exactly. Yeah. No, I would stop using it too at that point. And sometimes they also just start getting super hot and things too. That's funny. I can only see half the board. I guess that's all I need. Okay.
Yep. So that's another great example. Elder millennials had to go through several mobile phone revolutions throughout their lifetime. So we had, the regular flip phones, then the Nokia, then the Nokia with the I don't know what that model was called that you could play games on. I think the Engage, and then you had, phones that you could play MP3 files on. And nowadays you just have a smartphone and everything works just like on a computer.
I'm going to have to start again.
Shit.
We lost the physicality of the...
We did. We're the only generation to know life before. Exactly. I was born in 78 and proud of it because, or should this have been one? And then should this have been two?
So our generation is called Xennials, which is between Gen X and Millennials. And it's the only generation that had an analog childhood with us playing outside and such, but a digital, adulthood, or even teens, digital teens, by being introduced to the internet in our teens. So we had the best of both worlds, or the worst of both worlds. Who knows?
I know. I'm so thankful for the privacy of the childhood I had. I can think back to the adventures that I was a part of, and if there had been phones, my goodness, I don't know if I want records of all of that.
Exactly, that's the thing. Kids nowadays, upload videos to TikTok and such, and there's a digital footprint of you in your childhood and your mindset at the time, which you'll be embarrassed of in a couple of years. And so it's interesting that
our parents weren't posting pictures of us in our bathtub on Facebook for 500 friends.
Yeah, I mean, you have a
so weird.
You have a photo album, and it's like, okay, this is you when you were 2, and then you flip to 2 or 3 photos, and that's you when you were 5.
Up and down.
That's it.
And side to side.
It's not like
exactly
10 million photos of yourself.
There is a bathtub photo of me, but ain't nobody seen it on the internet because I sure as hell ain't posting it. Jeez, left to right.
CJ says, I'm so happy having no traces of my mischievous bullshit. So it doesn't have to be mischievous. Just you being you at a certain point in time is embarrassing enough. When you see a photo of yourself from you being 15, say to yourself, what was I wearing? Or what was up with me?
That was it. Because I think I've got 3 pictures of me as a teenager in existence. Can I not click on anything else? Did I do them in the wrong order? Can I restart it? Oh, there's one. These don't look attached properly. If I start it over, do you know if I have to do both of them again? Because the other one just kind of let me click easily in order.
Well, you're going to have to do both of them.
Right.
If you restart.
I meant, oh, okay, I see.
Both sides of the puzzle.
Eternal during lifetimes they matter. Do digital photos matter? And that's the question to me, because I treasure my parents' photo albums, and they're a snapshot in time, and there's nothing else like that. So I took all the digital photos I had of my youngest, because I had no physical photos of him, and I put them all in an album. And now they matter, and now people are looking at it, and now it's a thing. But I feel like I felt paranoid before we did that, as if something happened to the computer and then he wouldn't exist anymore or something. It didn't feel real to me. And then photos are a million a dozen. Somebody can take 100 photos in a day. So what do they matter? And who's all going to look at all these photos? And what are we doing with all of these photos other than paying places online to store them or whatever? I love that laugh. Oh my God.
I'm going to have to start again.
But in addition to that, photos from our childhood are more raw, because you took a photo and that's it. You're going to know if it's a good photo or not in 2 weeks when you process the film.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays,
you don't have to take 15 versions.
30 photos, and then you delete the ones that didn't look so good, and then you're left with, photos that you're proud of and that are in focus and well framed. But back then, you took one photo at the Statue of Liberty, and that's the only photo you have of that event. If it's a bad photo, that will be the photo you'll see for your entire life.
I love that about it, though. Like, in my photo album, there's fuzzy photos, and it's like, oh, that's the photo of my parents camping, and it's fuzzy, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's okay that it's like that. It's not bad. I don't hate the picture because of it. It's like, I don't even know. I have a million pictures of sunsets. What the fuck am I doing with them all? Sell
them on eBay.
Another sunset. Yeah. Something.
Joseph Austin says, this puzzle. Well, we can say that about each and every puzzle in this game.
This puzzle. It just felt like the other one was like guiding me, and this one's I guess the other one was like to help me understand the concept.
Guiding you? We spent 50 minutes on that in that particular puzzle.
It seemed it was holding my hand a little better. This side, it's just like, here, there's no logic, click stuff. I'll get it though. See, another person talking about your conversation with George. It was great. George is the best guest too. I mean, Daniel is a great interview and George is a great guest, and you put the two of them together and we all want more content. Like, if you can ever get him back, man, I tell you, that was such a good interview. If you didn't even know who he was, you'd enjoy the interview.
Thank you guys for the kind words, and thank you, Patrick. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Live to play another day.
Did I win?
Yes! What'd you do?
Hey! I don't know. I just clicked wherever an eyeball showed up.
Oh, my word. Yes. Oh, this is it. All this money. Rich. Filthy rich. No. What is this? What's going on?
Oh no.
No.
That was terrifying. Need to turn the lights on.
Acting. Yeah, Zero Cleft. Acting. So their excuse for the overacting in this game is the fact that it was low resolution, and so they had to emote everything to make it apparent to the player what emotion they were trying to emote at the time, because you don't have the subtlety of high resolution videos in which you can not overact. It needs no excuse.
Oh, I'll let you take me to the next room again. It's just awkward with the...
A secret room.
Ooh.
This is the puzzle that Stoff set out. And I solved it.
Wait! Didn't he just decompose?
Yeah, like right in front of our very eyes.
Continuity.
Using only what you see, can you get from A to B?
I don't know. What do we have here? Okay, I'll take that. Different cubes. Can I click on them? No. Can I click on you? No. You? Oh, you? You're the beginning. No. You're the beginning. Are you a line?
That meets the eye. Is there a pattern to this?
I don't know. Is there a pattern to this?
There is none.
It's as easy as 1, 2, 3.
Nope. It's as hard as every other puzzle in this game.
Monsters. It looks vaguely. Was it a bunch of like little kids either dressed up or as monsters, like they were actually different types of monsters? Like something's in my memory about this, and I'm not. Okay, it's on Amazon Prime. I'll check it out.
So Joseph Aston says, this game often shows characters apparently dying and then being okay later. It's really confusing. So here's the thing. If a game is not linear, then I can understand this happening because the creators of the game didn't think of the order in which you'll play the game or solve these puzzles. But this was the same exact room we were just in. We need to solve this puzzle to enter that room.
Solve this.
So that's the only order you'll see these
What
scenes.
you see. Can you get from A to B?
Stream Element says.
Markings.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying. Oh, it's kind of like Tales of the Crypt and stuff. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely check that out. I like that idea.
Is there a pattern to this?
I don't know. Is there a pattern to this?
There is none. The Stream Elements says, keep the conversation going on Discord.
1, 2, 3.
And Stream Elements isn't wrong. Join us on Discord, discord.conversationswithcurtis.com.
It is the place to be.
Where I just opened a new channel. TV shows. And another one. What am I playing right now?
The Classic Gamers Guild also has a Discord, but it's pretty quiet. And the podcast does not have a Discord. I'm just kind of going around the outside now.
Yeah, sure,
Pumping
you do
all
you.
these down.
We'll all be dead by the time you solve this. Using only what you see. Can you get from A to B?
A living version of both version, and they can die both ways, maybe. Oh, in the 7th. Yes. Well, I'm pretty sure this is first because it's next to the arrow, so.
Meets the eye.
It
Is
didn't
there
cut
a
me off
pattern to
here.
this?
And it didn't cut me off here. Is it a purple and then a blue? And then a orange?
It's
Haven't
as
done an
easy
orange.
as 1, 2, 3.
If I did an orange, I can do a blue. If I did a blue, let's follow the pattern and obviously do another blue because that makes sense. Meeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's hit all the edge ones this time. There you go. No, 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 no. No, yes.
Is there a pattern to this?
I'm not seeing it. If there is, I'm not seeing it.
There is. There is one, even though I said there are none.
and then a blue, and then an orange. Every path leads to the arrow. And then the arrow can tell me I did it wrong and I'll go a different way.
Careful you don't slip and fall.
He said a different thing. Oh, did I lose it? Oh, did I win it?
Well done. Well done, Anna.
Where's my cutscene? Where's my cutscene? I paid for a cutscene. I want my cutscene. I don't know why I won that, and I don't know the pattern I just did, just so you know. I have no idea why that accomplished it and the other times didn't.
Now the sacrifice must come from you. It must be brought to me alive. A final sacrifice.
Awesome.
Poor little thing.
Ooh, 3D.
Ooh. Creepy.
Insane. Yay! My favorite puzzle.
Oh God. I'm scared already.
The microscope puzzle. Hey guys! We all know that this puzzle is unsolvable on modern machines. If you wanna play
It's another puzzle.
an easier version of this game,
Inside a microscope.
go download Microscopic from Google Play or
I was
Microscopic
just
Puzzle.
wondering. Is there an
on-
app for that, Daniel?
There is one. Oh, or go search for Daniel Albu in your on any platform you might own, whether it's an Android or an iOS machine.
That's not it.
Hey, how goes it with the color time?
The what?
Did you do an app for the color time, or was there any?
Yeah,
work
it's
with
in the
that?
works. I want to know. I emailed Dave Grossman to ask him if he wants me to upload it to my account or to his.
Good.
Once I'll get-
I'm
once I-
excited about it.
Me too.
It's James can't handle that time. So, for example, he's
That's
on a
not
meal
it.
plan that I set up for him, and he doesn't even like breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So I just literally have named it Meal 1, Meal 2, Meal 3, Meal 4. It's like, because if you put a time on it, there's like a pressure and a stress for him.
What's the name of the game, Daniel? On the App Store, it's Microscopic Puzzle, and on Google Play, it's Microscopic. Or you can search for Daniel Albu on the App Store or on Google Play, and then you'll
That's
see
not
all
it.
of my apps. And one of them is
That's
this
not
one.
it.
And Graham Devine, the creator of The Seventh Guest,
That's not
also installed the game on his device and played a while. So he enjoyed my version of the game.
That's not it.
Come on, do something.
That's
Do
not it.
something.
That's not it.
Wait, what's happening?
That's not it.
Wait, give me control
That's
for a
not
second.
it.
Yep.
you need to click and then to choose where to go.
Oh, I see. Okay. I was literally just showing my kid the game, the Cool Spot game, the 7-Up game the other day, and I'm like, I know it was an ad for the game, but it was a bloody good game. It was a really good game.
Yeah, Cool Spot was amazing, and the 7-Up 7-Up spot was also very similar to this game, but I know this gameplay from the game Hexagon, which was also a DOS game, and that's where I know this game from.
Yeah, the music, yeah. There was some actually pretty good games back in the day. Not all of them stand up to the test of time, but I even remember liking the Lion King game on Sega.
Yay, me too.
It was a good game. What can I say?
It was a good game, and the second level was impossible, and they did that on purpose because people rented the game. They didn't want the game to be too easy.
No, and I rented it. I never owned it, so it worked on me because I rented it more than once. It was like Kid Icarus. The very beginning of the game is the hardest, and then it gets easier. Oh no, it ate me. I love the sucking noises. That's great. It's like slurping the microphone or something, like early sexy ASMR or something. Oh, it makes me
man,
laugh.
Ozzy, restart the game.
Even the McDonald's game was good. I haven't tried that one. I should.
The game requires internet access, so make sure you have a data plan or such, because
So you're telling me that what I'm doing is technically pointless because this is unwinnable?
yeah, but you want me to give it a try?
No, I mean, I haven't even failed yet. I'll fail first. You can fail after if you like. Is this like, I don't even know. Do you even need to finish this one? I guess you do. All the games are important.
Yeah, but you know, you can skip puzzles by going to the library 3 times. Yeah, exactly, Patrick. It's a function of CPU speed. So the AI is crazy fast and crazy good on modern machines.
Wow, see, I only played 7-Up Spot on, I think it was on Sega.
You kids with your consoles. I played it on my PC.
I know. Well, it wasn't at my house. I played Spot at my friend TJ's place.
Tyler James.
This lonely one over here, I can't click.
No, I did.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I was a PC gamer. Yeah, we had
entirely.
Over here we had Nintendo clone of sorts called Megasun, and I don't know. All the kids had it. I was a PC gamer. Always have been. Always will be. PCs are great.
That is true. Like we don't. Curses? Why did I just? Oh, okay. I was like, holy shit! Did I win?
Nah.
Yeah, DOS games are incredible. I still like to go back and play the games I played. Cross Country Canada and, just old school stuff.
California Games 1 and 2.
I love California Games.
Summer Olympic Games.
Love it.
Winter Olympic Games.
I liked
Commander
all of them.
Keen.
I liked that Commander Keen. And what was that 3D track racing game? I can't remember, but you could like see through the track that you were driving on.
Played
Road
so
and
many
track. Wasn't it just something like that? Stunts, thank you. It was, Microsoft Stunts, thank you. Yes, Cross Country Canada. That game was amazing. I've made...
Home Alone was great.
Mm-hmm. I like Donald Duck's Playground. Cross Country Canada is still worth playing. You can actually play it online for free, and I know more about geography than I used to. Even though I said at the beginning, not a lot. I love Commander Keen. I like the pogo stick. I like Keen Dreams, the 4.5 or whatever, too.
Okay, Ozzy, I'll talk to you on Discord after the stream. We'll need to figure this one out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was obsessed with Commander Keen, and I'm still obsessed with Commander Keen. And I'm happy that it didn't go through with a stupid mobile sequel that they planned to do a few years back. And it's the one franchise they didn't ruin all these years.
I've done Cross Country Canada last night and saw the end of the... Oh, really?
We're gonna have to try again.
Saw the end of Dundas Street in Victoria. Yeah, I'll have to try again. Okay, you want to give it a go? You can.
Yeah. I mean, it's unsolvable, but sure. Let's give it a try.
I'd love to drive. I'd love to do Cross Country Canada, like, on my own. I'd love to drive across Canada. I do love a road trip. I live on an island, so a road trip's a pretty big deal.
That's not it.
Oh, so a game where you make your own games. That's kind of cool. Like the original, whatever it is, Roblox or whatever the kids are using nowadays. I used to have those books. What's that?
There was an app called Click and Play back in the day by Maxis, the creators of SimCity, with which you could create platform games or games in general.
That's really cool. It's fun until you hit Saskatchewan. Yeah, and then it's just a whole bunch of the same. Especially coming from a place like BC, Saskatchewan would be crazy playing. I even find Calgary a little boring. And Calgary smells like itself all the time. The air doesn't move the same. Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan, eh? Remember those ones where you'd get the book? I still have a whole bunch of them. And then they'd like the Orion something, and then it would have like codes directly in the book, and then you'd put them into your computer to generate, to keep the mystery going in it. I can't remember what they were called. I used to do those though.
That's not it.
I'd rather play Awari.
Oh man. Not a good idea. I'll get 3 if I go here, he'll get...
Right, no rats in Alberta. They've got like prairie dogs or something like that. Like, because here in the city, we have rats and mice. We are overwhelmed. Fortunately, there's a lot of neighborhood cats. Victoria's always had a rat problem. Like, there's mouse traps in all the grocery stores and stuff too. Do you? Yeah, I see rats on a daily basis too. We used to live catch them at our old shop. We ended up catching over 30 rats. We named every single one of them George.
What? Why?
Mm-hmm. I don't know, because I've always liked the name George for a rat. I used to have a rat named George. He was hairless. I actually like rats. That's why we catched him, released them. If my husband wasn't against it, I would own rats and tarantulas and lizards and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, let's give this one last try. And then we'll skip the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
So a few days ago...
Rats are cool. Rats are very smart. Go ahead, Daniel.
For a second, I'm being obliterated.
Oh, yeah. That's fine. Rats are cool. Yeah, Curtis had a great pet rat. Mine was great. I had this one named Reepicheep, and I know Reepicheep's a mouse, not a rat. But anyways, and then he used to go everywhere in my shirt, and he knew not to come out at restaurants, so he'd just poke his little head out and, have a little piece of food and then go hide. And they never pooped in my shirt. It was good rats. And George had no hair. We had Wixie and Brock. All good rats.
I muted the sounds.
Love a good rat. Oh, okay. Want me to do it instead?
No. So a few days ago, the producer of a new documentary called Terabytes approached me. It's a documentary, a 5-episode documentary about horror games. And when he approached me, he asked if I'm interested in seeing, previews of the first couple of episodes and maybe, talk about it on our channel. And the name of the documentary sounded familiar. And then I remembered that a year ago, he emailed Paul asking him if he wants to be interviewed for that documentary.
Interesting.
And then I asked the producer, wait, did Paul get back to you about it? And he said no. So they don't talk about Phantasmagoria 2 in that documentary just because Paul forgot to reply. And so I'm really bummed.
Yeah, that is too bad. It's hard when you miss out on opportunities for these games to get a spotlight just because, it's rare to hear them talked about in mainstream.
No. I mean, I'm still going to watch the documentary, but still.
Oh, of course. Like the Netflix one that had Richard Garriott and Ken and Roberta in it. That was cool to see.
Yeah, so this one is from the creators of the FPS documentary. There was a documentary a few years back that was about first-person shooters. And in this one, they focus on horror games. So they interview Graham Devine, who was the creator of this game. And they interview, John Romero, because Doom is a first-person shooter. So I'm not sure if they interviewed him in the last one, but they interview him in this one. And they get a few other cool guests. And so I'm really bummed that Paul didn't reply to that email. I should have bugged him about it.
Yeah. It's hard to get a Paul to answer emails, no matter which Paul it is.
Yeah. You can say to each his own, but for us, it's to each his own Paul.
Yes, it's true. I'm generally the one that's, happy to reach out and contact people and do things. So it's always hard when dealing with other people where to draw the line of where to help or where to remind or where to stay quiet, when to pass on a message and when to let people deal with it themselves.
Yeah, but we get these types of emails all the time, so you can't be sure if that particular documentary is really gonna, get to production or be funded or whatever. So sometimes it's just a waste of time, but in this case, it wasn't, and I'm bummed that nothing came out of it. In terms of Phantasmagoria 2, something came out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm not gonna win this puzzle.
No, this one is a little
Okay,
wild.
let's... Wait, I think it's in the options. Wait.
Oh.
Nope. Okay, save. And a 4. Wait, I want to return. Let's save and a 5. I'm not sure if the save game worked. Return to launcher, and then game options, and then easier AI.
Oh. Thank you, Scum VM. And by the way, one of the other cool Discords that I'm a part of that I really enjoy because I really like the nerdy details is the Scum VM Discord. It's a great one. I love hearing all the little bits and pieces and comparisons between games and what they've changed and what they've figured out and what they've updated. It's great fun.
Zero Cost says there's a YouTuber I watch all the time. He missed an email from Valve offering him a free VR headset and didn't notice until a year later.
Oh, that's hard.
It also happened to me. I reached out to the art director of Phantasmagoria 2, and he replied just a few days ago, 10 months after I initially approached him.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a bit of a time off.
It's another puzzle. Imagine.
Okay, you want to give it a try now with the easier AI?
Sure. What exactly am I supposed to be doing? I want more blobs of green than of blue, or more blobs
you need
of blue
more
than
blobs. You're the blue blob. You need more blobs of blue than green ones. And when you move to an adjacent cell, then you duplicate. But when you skip, like 2 ahead or 2 to each side, then you just jump. So you need to duplicate as much as possible without giving the green blob an option to absorb you.
Okay. I guess I should have absorbed him first. All right, let me try restarting this then. If that's
CJ, I don't mean Andy Hoyos. Just so you know, I did reach out to Andy Hoyos. Paul interviewed him as part of the 25th anniversary of Phantasmagoria. I did reach out to Andy Hoyos and asked him if he'd like to be interviewed by me about all of his projects, not just Phantasmagoria 2, because one of the greatest fun facts is the fact that Lorelei Shannon and Andy Hoyos collaborated on King's Quest VII, which is a favorite of mine, and then their next collaboration was Phantasmagoria 2. And it's also super weird that they went from the most Disney-esque game to the goriest game with sexual content. So it seemed like they went to extremes on both ends. But no, Andy Hoyos said that he's no longer interested in talking about his past career as someone who worked on computer games.
Really? I wonder why. It's like, to me, I'm like, if you're a guy and you wrote a song and everybody likes the one song, it's kind of your obligation to the fans to like sing it over and over and over and over again till you die, and just be thankful you made a song that everybody likes.
I know, and
That's not it.
that's one of the problems with going to a concert, because most artists don't come to Israel in each and every world tour they have. So they come every once in a while. So for example, when Depeche Mode came to Israel, then we expected them to play, the greatest hits, but they just played stuff from their latest album. And that might be okay if you watch every show of theirs and they come to your country each and every time they have a world tour. And then in their first world tour, they have their greatest hits, and in the second one, they have songs from the previous album. But when they come every 10 years, I expect them to sing all of the songs I missed out on in the past 10 years.
I agree. I think that's a disappointing thing. And as I said, it's kind of part of it's an ego thing. Dean Erickson just moved to Portugal.
What?
Really? Have you read his books? His books are really good. He's a smart man. He's got so much good information for us.
This is trickier than it looks.
Well, I just lost, so.
Wait, I need to know if Nelson's for real. Wait, I have not actually what? Seen him? Okay, when you say we might get coffee soon, do you mean like you scheduled something, or you talked to him, or by sheer coincidence you might be at the same coffee shop?
That's not it.
I have both of his books. I have them signed as well. Dean Erickson is awesome.
Dean might get coffee soon. Beware, yeah? What? I can't believe Nelson got a date with Dean Erickson.
Yeah.
While I'm still trying to convince him to join me for a conversation.
I bet you Nelson, if they did go out for coffee, would be, highly recommending an interview with you.
This is tricky.
I bet you had already thought of that. Darn it. Okay.
Okay, let's skip this puzzle. The easier
But
AI
it's so much fun.
Yeah. So the thing is, when I had my conversation with Jane Jensen, then I asked Dean if he had any questions for her. And he said I should ask her who her favorite FMV actor is. And that's what I asked her. And I hope that Dean would join me for a conversation afterwards, but he didn't.
Aw. Who is your favorite FMV character? Now, that's a tricky question for you, Daniel.
Paul Morgan Stetler. I'm contractually obligated to say that in each and every live stream.
Of course, of course.
Now, the thing is, I posted it on Discord. We have on Netflix, like you guys have, the top 10 movies in your area. So in the movie Life or something like it with Angelina Jolie is now available on Netflix. It was just added a week ago, and so it's number 2 in the top 10 most watched movies on Netflix in Israel. So Paul will be getting residuals soon from us watching said movie.
I love that. Obviously, Paul is awesome, but my favorite is just my first FMV encounter character, and still is Chris Jones, because he's fabulously talented, and I used to have quite a crush on him when I played Under a Killing Moon.
Hey, Joseph Austin says, wait, I just watched it. Where was he? He was the limo driver at the end of the movie.
Puzzle.
So apparently they
I was just Googling about
inside
that.
a microscope.
So apparently they had a conversation, but that was cut from the final edit. So he doesn't have a speaking part in this movie, but he is the limo driver, and he loves to mention the fact that she allowed him to call her Angie.
That is the coolest.
Wait, what movie is this? Life or Something Like It? Starring Angelina Jolie from 2002.
That's like, what's his name from the first Phantasmagoria game? David was in an episode of the Drew Carey Show.
You know, Paul was in an episode of the Drew Carey Show.
Who was he?
Yeah.
That is cool.
Stuff on the counter for me. This is one of those peach cobbler things, though.
It's another puzzle. Imagine, inside a microscope.
Inside a microscope. Okay.
Oh, really? The whole SAG was in the episode of the Drew Carey Show? Yeah. PM Paul Morgan featuring Angelina Jolie. Totally.
Wait, I wonder if I still have it. Let's get the... I mean, this live stream has been demonetized the moment we started playing this game because George the Fat Man Sanger gets all of the revenue from our live streams, Anna, just so you know.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're welcome, George.
Yeah.
As long as somebody's getting revenue somewhere, because, you know.
And the same goes for my conversation with him. You know, the 5 seconds in which I play the track from which he stole the melody. Then that's
the Twilight
demonetized.
Zone one.
Yeah, so I'm not that conversation is not demonetized because I'm showing parts from an actual TV show. That part's okay, but me playing a George Sanger track, that part will get you demonetized.
Oh my god, a George Sanger track on a George Sanger video? Like, how dare you?
Yeah.
Oh, what a world.
Wait, I wonder if I
Do you
still have it.
I was going to say, do you have it? Do you think you do?
The Drew Carey show?
Yeah. No, whatever. Any clips, really. The one of Paul, I was thinking in the limo.
Yeah, I do have it. But you know what? Let me play some of them. Let's see what I do have.
That would be cool.
So first of all, we have his part from... Let's see. From Melrose Place, where he's trying to present an electrical glove of sorts, and then he gets electrocuted. And we have
That's
a
such
widget.
A Paul thing.
Yeah. Paul getting electrocuted. It wasn't even part of the show. He just did it as himself.
Oh no. That's great.
Wait, let's see if I have that super chat. No.
Swimming in gold coins. Hey, do you remember the DuckTales? It was like Quest for the Gold game. It was a computer game. And you could go into Scrooge's Money Bank. I loved that game. Robert Holmes is the chillest cat. Robert Holmes is a cool cat. Like, there's nobody as cool and as chill as Robert Holmes. Love the guy.
Have that.
Oh, I loved the NES DuckTales game too. I had a Nintendo. I loved that game.
Okay, so here's the widget. It usually takes a $50 donation to see it, but here it is for free.
Ooh.
So-and-so tipped $50. Born too late to explore the Earth. Born too early to explore the universe. Born perfectly to explore dank memes.
Oh, that was great.
I'm sure.
What a scene.
I'm sure Paul would appreciate it.
That was amazing.
So he was electrocuted. Not sure if I have the Drew Carey one. Let me look it up. If not, then...
That one would be hard to find. Boy, it's buried in there. Any Drew Carey. There's so many episodes of that bloody show.
Drew Carey. Let's see.
Oh, you went to the open house for Mobius? That is so cool. Okay, he got crowded more than Jane. He is that cool. I know, Jane's that cool too. I was so intimidated when I met Jane the first time. My gosh. Oh.
Zero Clef tipped $5. Hopefully George Sanger doesn't take this $5 from you.
Was that the other clip? Was that him?
What clip?
Oh, that was from the tip. I see.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm just figuring it out.
No. Okay, so I don't have it ready, so I don't want to waste everyone's time. And wait, did we solve the puzzle? The puzzle is solved. Yep.
All right. Look at that.
Yeah, baby. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun.
baby. Do, 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 do. I come here to find all the virtual dildos.
So Ali Fergia has a very interesting story about the inspiration behind this melody and the yeah baby.
I'd like to hear that. Al Euphrasio has amazing stories, and I find it's hard to get them sometimes. So I'm really happy to hear that you've interviewed him.
Yeah, he was at the Adventure Game Hotspot conference back in July, right?
Yeah.
And
I've actually met him a few times. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like a whole bunch of times. We've gone to like IHOP and we've gone to the mall together, and I met him a couple times in various Sierra events and stuff.
What? Are you kidding?
He's drawn me a graham cracker for like in my book, like in front of me. He's awesome.
What? This is awesome.
He even messaged me from Jay and Silent Bob, like their new like media factory. Oh, sorry, and called me from there and got to show me around a while ago. He's a very interesting person. His wife's lovely.
This, yes, this is it. Not magic. This is top secret. Some demented science. I have this day discovered a way to communicate. I wanted power, real magic, if it existed. Not this, not... Oh! Oh no! No!
Vaporized.
Yay. Okay.
Awesome job. Well done.
Yeah. Okay, so we reached the 2-hour mark. And I think it's a great place to call it a day after we solved the microscope puzzle by letting the game solve it.
I feel good as long as I solved one puzzle on my own, and I think I solved two. I don't even know how I solved one of them. So this time I'm coming out feeling pretty confident.
Okay, sure. That's a great way to handle things, like us not solving anything in reasonable amount of time, but sure.
His daughter's quite a talent. I've seen some of the videos he's been sharing of hers too. She's great. Socially awkward guys. Yeah, that's the thing about nerds, I guess.
Anna, thank you again for joining me for this live stream. I really thought that we'd be able to finish the game today, but it seems like we will need a few more live streams before we actually get to the end of this game. And you know, there's a twist at the end, so it's well worth the wait, or not, you know. Either way.
Either way, I had a great time with chat, as always. This is out of all various streams I've jumped into, your chat is always just such a great time. So, I mean, between that and the game and figuring things out and so much going on, it stimulates my brain and makes me happy. So thank you.
Well, I'm glad that you had fun, and hopefully you'll join me for another 7th Guest live stream. And who knows, maybe after we finish this game, we'll play the 11th hour, which is, I'm not sure if I ever finished it, because by the time it came out in 95, there were so many FMV games, like better than the 7th Guest and the 11th hour. I don't think I ever saw the end or ever reached the end. So
we're gonna have to do that next. Let's plan it right now. Let's just say that's where we're going. When we're done 7th Guest, we're gonna head right into the 11th hour. I'm in. It's settled.
Okay, so I think we just booked all of the Fridays from now until the end of 2025 because it will take us 6 live streams to finish this, and then the 11th hour, and who knows, maybe the 13th doll. So thank you again, Anna. Tomorrow,
thank you.
Tomorrow we'll play Spycraft with Spoonie. It's going to start at 10 a.m. So join us for that. Next Friday, Hal Barwood is joining me for a live stream in which we'll play a bunch of his games. And then maybe the Friday after that, Anna will rejoin me to play some more 7th Guest or something else. Maybe we'll just watch the ending on YouTube. Maybe it's not worth.
We'll see how we feel at the beginning of it. I know at the end of it, we feel that way.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.